Hi guys, it's Mary. I'm back today to do a tutorial for you on how I make a cloth mask. My mask is 100% cotton. It has a filter pocket in the back, and I do ties on my mask instead of ear loops. You can do either one. This can easily be converted into that. I like to use elastic ties when I can, but I can't always find elastic. And then I also like to use a high quality filter. I will go over that with you later. What I'm going to do is tell you what you need, and then I'm going to kind of move my camera down just so you can see my hands, and I will take you through step by step. What you will need is a sewing machine. You're going to do straight stitches only. You need 100% cotton tight weave fabric. It's good to go ahead and wash that in a sensitive skin laundry detergent if you have it. No fabric softener sheets. Get that nice and dry and press it if you can. For one mask you would need a yard or less. I have tons of different fabrics that have been donated, so I got all kinds of stuff here. You will also need a hot iron. You'll need scissors or a sharp utility knife. You will need some twist ties. I prefer these. I don't want them plastic wrapped because they could melt. I'm going to show you how we're going to use these. You can also use garden wire. There's lots of options online for this. This is going to make our nose piece in the mask. So if you don't have twist ties, you can look around and see what else you could use. We're going to wrap those in fabric anyway. And then you will also need your elastic ties. If you don't have elastic, that's okay. I got this elastic recently and I keep ordering it as it comes in. This is about 3/8 of an inch. If you have to get it wider because it's all you can get, you can always cut this down into thinner strips. There's no reason you can't. I've cut down a lot of 2-inch strips of elastic. You can also use bias tape. You can use ribbon. You can use shoelaces. Some people have cut old t-shirts into straps. You can use just the fabric you have. You can pretty much get really creative here. Supplies are low and things are hard to get. And we're just trying to get these masks out to people while they can still use them. A lot of times medical providers are using these over their medical grade masks simply to keep those clean, because a lot of times they're only given one mask and it's hard to keep those clean. So these often act as a protective shield for that you can take home and wash. I also give a lot out to the community for people who are in dialysis or immunocompromised, people who are senior citizens, children who have lower immune systems. I can also tell you how to make a children's size mask out of this pattern. It's very simple. I'm going to go ahead. I am not a seamstress. I'm going to warn you. I do not generally sew, so I'm not the most eloquent. And I am also not a good camera person. So right now I'm going to go ahead and move my camera down and switch over to showing you how to do this. Bear with me, please. Hopefully now you can see my board. I'm going to try and get that in there for you. This is my cutting board. I'm going to tell you what I do. You can do whatever you'd like. This is my first piece. This is my 100% cotton washed and dried. This is a special mask for a friend who happens to love skulls. I don't usually do this type. I have cut one piece of this. This is going to be your outer piece. So whatever pattern you want to show on the front of the face, this will be this piece. This piece is cut in 10 by 11 inches. Excuse me. Everything I do is in inches. These are what I use. These are plywood templates that my boyfriend cut out for me. They make my cutting fast. I am not good at cutting with scissors. Then you're going to need your inside material. I just chose black for that. You're going to need 2 pieces at 7 by 9 each. 2 pieces, 7 by 9. That will be your inside that not many people are going to see, so often I don't use my prettiest fabric in there. The way I do this is I take my big piece of fabric and I often fold it a couple times. I'm going to show you that. I fold it 2 or 3 times, I press it, and then I take my template and stick that on top, and I cut all around the edges with a very sharp utility knife, holding the material very tight under that template. That way I can get 2 to 4 pieces at a time. It makes my process a lot faster. It's especially helpful when you're doing the inside pieces because you're going to need 2 of these pieces per every 1 front piece. So it can move your system along quite quickly, give you a lot of extra time. So once you have those pieces cut out, you're going to take your piece, your front piece, pattern side up towards you, lengthwise this way. You're going to take your 2 small pieces. This is a piece that I just cut, and I forgot to cut it in half, so I'm going to do that really quickly. That was one of those times I cut 2 at once. So I'm just going to cut across there. You're going to have your 2 inside pieces. This is the inside I want against someone's skin. It's the inside that's going to show. That's my unfinished side. With each of these pieces, you're going to take them, fold them over so you see a little bit of your finished side, and you're going to press nice and tight. You're just going to press all along there. Get a nice tight crease. You're going to do that on both of your smaller pieces. Then you're going to take your 2 smaller pieces and stitch them from here all the way down to here so that that holds on each piece. It's just a straight stitch again. I always back stitch on each end to kind of hold it tight. Once you have those sewn, you're going to take them and you're going to lay them onto your front piece. Again, pattern side up of your front piece. You're going to lay that one. This piece will also be folded over and hemmed. You're going to lay it like that, and you are going to end up with something that looks like this. I try really hard and sometimes forget to cut all of my strings off as I go. Otherwise they will get caught up on you and you will end up with a big mess at the end that frustrates you sometimes. You're going to take this and press it. I'm going to go ahead and move my cutting board right now so we can do this a little bit easier. So you're going to press each of those. This is your time to get it really nice if you have the time. Then you're going to fold each one in. And you're going to press again. You're going to get a nice tight press. If you mess up, you can always go back. This is one I actually messed up on that I'm using, so you're going to see that I have a little unfinished here because I actually put it on backwards and had to redo it for you guys. You're going to get both of those set like that, nice and tight. And then you're going to take your ends and you're going to do one fold and then another fold. Excuse me. And you're going to press. What you're making here is a little channel for your ties. So you're going to do that on both sides nice and tight. And depending on how great of a seamstress you are, you can make this much smaller or a little bit bigger. It's not going to affect it too much. You just don't want to lose too much material. Once you have this set, you're going to take this back to your machine and you're going to stitch along each side here. You want to get as close to this inside edge here as you can to allow you to have this channel that you're going to run your tie through. So you want to do that on each side. You're then going to end up with something that looks like this. Our next step will be our nose piece. The nose piece is simple. It's just something I add. You don't have to have it, it's just nice to have. You can use either bias tape or another piece of any material you want. This piece is 4.5 by 2. I press that. I take twist ties because somebody gave me a bag of about 2,000 of them. I take 3 to 4 depending on the size of the person. If I'm making a child's mask, I usually use 2. Adult, I try and use 4. You're going to place those right in the middle. Then you're going to take each end. Sometimes it's easier to do one end at a first and then add your twist ties. And do one end. You can stick these on if you'd like. We're just going to do 2 for now. Generally, I would do 4, like I said. You're going to pull your other end in, and this piece I did cut a little small, so your piece is going to give you a little more room to work with. You can always make it longer if you need more room. You just want to make sure it's going to fit in the middle of your mask when you're done. So press both sides. Take your twist ties. You're going to fold over once. You're going to press that. Then you're going to fold over again and give that a great press so that you have a little secure pocket that your twist ties are in. You're going to have one unfinished side that's still open. You want to take that unfinished side at the top of your mask. I usually go pocket up. Some can go pocket down. It doesn't really matter because it's so secure, it's overlapping. You're going to take that, stick that right in the middle of the top of your mask, line it up with the top. You're going to go back to your sewing machine and you're going to stitch each end tight and then once down the middle. This is a different fabric, but that's going to give you something that looks like this. This is the strap with my twist ties in it, and it folds right down the middle to link over their nose. So you see there our pocket and our nose piece. Once you have that done, you're going to take whatever you're using for straps. Again, I like the elastic. It's very hard to find though. This elastic strap that I use is cut at 34 inches each. You need 2 for each mask. It's 34 inches long. This is 3/8 inches wide. That's almost a perfect width for me. You're going to take your mask, and I use a crochet needle. You can use whatever you can find. I stick that right through that little tunnel there. Now if you can't get through one side, try the other side. Sometimes it gets a little frustrating. Pull right through there. You're going to come out the other side. You're going to hook your elastic onto that needle and you're going to pull it straight through there. Sometimes it will get caught up. You have to give it a couple times, couple tries. Pull that through and you're going to have something. Do both sides. You're going to have something that looks like this. Even them up and then pull that, gather that tight. Pull each side equally if you can, even it out. Then you're going to take this and you're going to stitch, if you can see, right here where the elastic meets the mask and comes out. You want to stitch to hold that elastic in place at the end, on each end of your gather, on each side. Just once on each end. Then it will be secure in your mask. With the elastic, all I do is I burn the ends a little bit because they have that rubber or plastic in there, so they kind of seal and they won't fray. You can also just fold it over and give it a hit with your sewing machine to keep those from fraying. They may be washing these twice a day and you don't want them fraying on you. That's your mask. I'm going to show you this one now. This is one that's completed. With my masks, I use 2 different types of filters. My best filter is from Filti. It's F-I-L-T-I. They sell this fabric. It's somewhat expensive to ship and it takes a while to get here. But if you watch the videos and read the research on Filti, it is amazing. It's also washable, which is wonderful. This comes in big sheets, big folded sheets. You can get it in different sizes. All I do is I take these sheets and I cut them into 6 by 6 squares. Filti will show you how to use this. There's a side that's a little more cottony. You want that to face out. So you're going to place that right into that pocket. You want to make sure it's flat in there and covering from end to end. If you find that your sheet's too small, cut it a little bigger next time. You're just going to place that in your mask, straighten it out, get the bumps out. I tend to fold it right there so they know where the nose piece is, and it's ready to go. I then put this in a sealed Ziploc bag, which with each mask I make, I include a disclosure stating that I am not a scientist or a medical doctor, and these are provided for people to choose to use as they will, and they are not meant to replace medical masks. They are only meant to use over medical mask or if you have nothing else available. I also tell them washing instructions. I suggest putting your mask in a mesh bra or laundry bag and washing it undelicate. I also suggest taking out this washable filter and washing that by hand and then replacing it, just to be as careful as possible. I always tell people to wash their masks before they wear them because I have been touching these everywhere while I'm making them, and I also happen to have pets in my home. I put that disclosure sheet in there for two reasons. One, to protect myself, and two, to educate the client and try to get them to do their own research. If you cannot get the Filty material, there are lots of things online you can use. You can use blue shop wipes. You can use baby wipes. I'm going to go ahead and move this up again so you can see me. You can use baby wipes. You can also use something that is wonderful. It's Filtrete 1900 or higher furnace filters. They filter both viruses and bacteria. They're pleated. There's no fiberglass. There's a big debate about that. I actually called the company directly. There's absolutely no fiberglass in their pleated filters. They are a MERV rating of 13 or higher. They come and are folded up. They also have cardboard and metal on them, but you can pull them apart and get a very large sheet and then cut those sheets into filters to go inside of these. That is not washable though. That is disposable, but it can go through quite a few uses. If you want more information on using those, a great resource is West Virginia Mask Army. They make masks for the medical field purely out of those filters. They also have a pattern if you want to make that type of mask. You can also make a mask out of this Filty material with no cotton. I've done that for people with COPD or problems breathing because sometimes the cotton is too heavy for them. Those are very simple to make, very quick process, and this Filty material is wonderful. Right now I'm waiting to hear from one of my customers, I donate everything I do, on how that's working out for her with the washing and things. I do suggest only donating these masks. I do not suggest charging for them. If you read online, there's already been one lawsuit. I'm doing this purely on community donations. They have given me everything and more that I need. They have given me material, thread, elastic. They've given me cash to buy the filters. I keep track of everything that comes in and everything I purchase and everything that goes out. I would suggest you do the same. I hope this goes well for you. I hope this is a great tutorial to start with. If you have any questions, please reach out and I will do my best to help you out with that and get you on track. Remember, these do not have to be perfect. They do not have to be beautiful. This is a desperate time, and what we need to do is just work together and get these out to everybody who needs them. I hope you guys have a great time making these masks. Take care. We'll see you soon.